What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Or welcome if it's your first time here. I hate to keep beating this dead horse, but there's still so many people who aren't prepping enough for what's actually coming on down the line in the very near future. Even folks who watch this YouTube channel that's about prepping aren't actually prepping. I get so many emails from people asking questions, you can tell that they haven't done anything. They're trying to make it more complicated than it needs to be. It's quite simple. Go out and buy food. Go to the supermarket. Buy food. Buy more than what you normally buy. If you buy a case of canned food, normally, buy two, buy three, buy four as much you can afford. If you buy a 5-pound bag of rice, pick up 2 or 3 or one of those 20-pound bags. Pick up extra pinto beans, flour, cornmeal, whatever you normally eat that has a good shelf life, that has good storage capabilities. Stock up on that. Put that back. Don't make it complicated. Don't overthink this. Hard times are coming. Food shortages are coming. Outright famine in certain parts of the world and starvation and death is coming. Don't make it complicated. Don't think you have to have, the perfect plan. No plan is perfect. The important thing is to actually go out and do something. Stock up. Go to the supermarket. Go to your grocery store. Go anywhere. Go to the dollar store and pick up everything that you can now and put that back. Anything that has a good storage life, especially that don't need refrigeration, like oats, sugar, flour, cornmeal, pinto beans, rice, canned food, pasta, peanut butter, crackers, things like that has a good shelf life without having to be refrigerated because you don't know when the power grid could go down. Having some meat in the freezer is great, and having a good stockpile of that is wonderful. If you have a way to keep that frozen if the power grid goes down. So you need to have a generator or a good solar array to keep everything frozen. But do everything you can right now, guys, to stock up. Don't make it complicated. Don't think you have to have this perfect survival plan. You have to go out and purchase, this year's supply of survival foods for several $1,000s per person. Just go to the supermarket and spend $10 extra every time if you can, $20 extra, $100 extra. Everything you can afford to spend extra to buy food with, spend that. Stock up now. Get what you can because in the very near future, it's happening right now on certain items. Take, for example, eggs. I was at the market this morning picking up a few things, and the eggs were pretty much barren. The shelf that usually has all the eggs had just several cartons that they had on there, and those prices are going up. Everything is going up in price because availability is going down. It's going to get worse as things progress here in the very near future, and it's all, like I've talked about before, it's all planned, it's all orchestrated to bring on food shortages, to bring on famine, to bring on death. Now we know things are happening right now around the world. We know food is going to be less available because of different policies, because of lockdowns, because of drought, because of what's happening with Russia and Ukraine and the U.S., what's happening with other countries hoarding food and not exporting because they know what's coming. So it's going to be a serious situation here in the next few months. People think that they don't see it right now. Everything is fine. However, these things take time to play out. We'll see the food shortages, the main food shortages, I think, and actual famine start about this winter. And it's going to progress in the following years. So stock up on everything you can, guys, because it's coming. I'm not sure how bad it's going to get here in the U.S. as far as the actual shortages and famine goes. However, we know the price of what you can find is going to be more expensive, much, much more expensive. And if you are already living, below that poverty line or even at that middle class line, you're going to get much, much poorer. You're going to spend more money, more currency to buy food for you and your family. And if you're already in that poverty line and already struggling, there's going to be definitely some hunger pains going on there. That's if you can actually find what you want. Now, in certain countries, in these third world countries, they're already third world right now, there's going to be mass starvation and mass death, in my opinion. And that's what they want because they want to lower the population down. The U.S. is going to see those prices increase 100% for sure. Plus, this election is going to be a a lot smaller, and the quantity is going to be a lot less. You may be restricted, to only be able to buy 2 cans of soup, for example, 2 cans of pinto beans, for example, or maybe 1 bag of 5 pounds, pinto beans. So we're going to see, in my opinion, shortages here in the U.S., higher prices, less to choose from, and it's going to be a mess, guys. So don't put this off any longer. Don't think that, things are going to just get better, that everything's going to work itself out, that some politician will get elected here in a few months, or that the Republicans will take over, Congress. They're going to win by a landslide, and then everything's going to miraculously be better. When the truth of the matter is, and the reality of the matter is, everything has been set in motion already. It's like a train that can't be stopped. It's coming. It's already been set in motion. It doesn't matter who gets elected. It doesn't matter who is in Congress, who's in the Senate. It's going to all turn out the same way. It doesn't matter. The politics is, for the most part, just a way to get people to think they have a choice, to think things are going to get better, to listen to this politician over here, just stay calm a little bit longer, take this and, a little bit longer, give a little more of your freedom up, and it'll be okay, because this next time, we'll get that back this next election. It doesn't happen that way. So like I said, guys, don't make it complicated. Just go out where you can to your supermarket and pick up everything you can and put that back and have that ready, because you're going to eat. You're going to have to eat. So might as well go ahead and buy it now if you can, and have that on hand in case you can't find that in the future, or in case you can't afford that in the future. This article here from the Burning Platform: global rice production set to plunge 10%, threatening half of humanity. Farmers in China, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and Vietnam, the largest rice-producing countries, could experience reduced output due to soaring fertilizer prices. And this right here, guys, is, in my opinion, all been planned. These soaring fertilizer prices. The International Rice Research Institute warns that harvest could plunge as much as 10% in the next season, equating to about 36 million tons of rice, or enough food to feed 500 million people, according to Bloomberg. So 500 million people could not be getting the rice that they normally consume. And we all know, China and a lot of the Asian countries like Vietnam, China, Indonesia, Bangladesh, they rely heavily on that rice crop. Chemical fertilizers such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium are the most supplied nutrients for high-yielding rice cultivation. Farmers have been particularly vulnerable to soaring fertilizer prices. Some have reduced the amount of nutrients to save cost. This threatens future harvest as production declines, could stoke food inflation for a crop that feeds half of humanity. And we also know that because of what's going on right now with Ukraine and Russia, that their wheat imports are going to be much, much lower, or our exports are going to be much, much lower, if not completely non-existent. So it's going to be another, nail in the food coffin. You take wheat and rice, that feeds a lot of people in the world. Communist takeover without firing a shot. China seizes control of America's farmlands. Why is the United States allowing a foreign nation, a communist nation, to be buying up farmland in the U.S.? I think that Bill Gates and China are the largest farmland owners in the United States. Why is China allowed to own property, land, farmland here in the U.S.? The Food Institute: more farmers declare bankruptcy. On and on and on, guys. Different articles talks about the farmers, the crops, the shortages. Anyone with half a brain can see this, what's coming. So like I said, stop pretending. Start prepping. The Biden administration will pay farmers more money not to farm. And they're doing all kinds of different things, guys, to cause, these famines. Just like I was talking about the other day about the shipments, the train shipments of fertilizers. It's all planned to cause as much starvation and hunger, as much pain and sorrow as they possibly can. Because like I've said before, they want to bring in this globalist government. They want to control the food. They're going to say it's because of climate change, man-made climate change. They're going to say we need to have this globalist control structure so we can control the food, make sure no one starves again. And they will make it sound so wonderful and so great. If people are starving and hungry, they're going to go for it. The goal is to add 4 million acres of farmland to the Conservation Reserve Program, which takes land out of production to blunt agriculture's environmental impact. So they're worried about agriculture's environmental impact. What about starving to death? What about mass starvation and famine? And that's another reason, that they want depopulation, because they see most people on the earth, 90%, in fact, I think it is, that they want to get rid of. And you see that 90% of people as useless eaters. They want all the farmland to go back to forest, to be controlled, to be owned by them, because they see themselves, as owners of the world, as gods. And I always have someone, I always say, who's they? Who's this they you're talking about? Look it up. I've talked about this so many times, anyone should know who they is by now. World Economic Forum, for one, the Bilderberg Group, the Davos Group, the Club of Rome, the Rockefellers. It's common knowledge, I thought, by now, who they actually are. The people who actually own the politicians, who actually control the world. Guys, I don't know what else to say. I'm beating this horse to death about this food shortage that's coming, and I wish people would listen, and I'm sure a lot of you all are. But share this video, if you think it would help someone else, or if you know someone that you'd like to listen to better than me, and you want to share one of their videos about the same topic, share that. But get the information out to everyone you can about what's coming. I don't want to see, people starving. I've been hungry before in my life. I've talked about this on this channel before, how I grew up, extremely poor, and spent a lot of time homeless, living in cars and tents. And I've experienced hunger firsthand. It's not fun. I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. And the only way to avoid that, hopefully, is to prepare, is to get ready, to stockpile. I don't know what else to say, guys. Just please get ready. Please prepare. If you found the video useful, give it a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore out of here. I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.